What up, y'all? We just finished watching Mr. Crocket, and it's a Hulu original scary movie. It's basically like a nightmare, hellish black Mr. Rogers that comes.
Mr. Rogers mixed with like Candyman, mixed with
Freddy Kruger.
I guess to give a brief overview, there's a guy who is taking children, and justification for it, he's just snatching them out of their homes, but he's doing it because they have bad parents. The interesting part is that he doesn't unalive all the bad parents, right? First ones, it seems.
Yes.
like.
Yeah.
Right.
It kind of starts with like a little boy watching the show, and then, you know, he's a verbally abusive stepdaddy is sitting at the table telling him to eat. Mom joins the table. For some reason, it's just really darkly lit in this house too, which is very funny.
Very dark for like dinner time. That shit, I was like, bruh, I cannot eat in the dark. And this poor kid, the pops like presses him about eating his peas, which, you know what? That in and of itself shows just how terrible parents they are, because feeding your kids peas, that's abusive.
Yep.
Disgusting!
So the kid is getting like berated by the stepdad, and then Mr. Crocket comes out the TV and
just gives the kid like a big old thing of cotton candy, son. And the kid is just all happy. And just does terrible things to the father right in front, like right next to the kid.
Just smiling.
Yeah,
like,
while Mom's is in the room hearing this commotion and doesn't come out until after the deed is done.
Look, I mean, I would have probably been like, you know what, if the stepdad was abusive like that, because he seemed like he was abusive, I guess you did the job for me. But they just wasn't even flinching. Like, at the end of the day, this is some wild stuff you're seeing in front of you, and they're not
my
even,
God.
like, the boy is just like eating his cotton candy. The premise is that he's taking him into his world. And BGTV made the argument that they're probably hypnotized, and that's why they're going through the portal.
They did show at one point one of the children. They showed from their point, and they gave you like little glimpses of what the world actually looks like. But what they see is like kind of the same world that they watch.
Useless children. That this strange man comes over with this weird crayon, and you go through this portal that he creates in front of you.
It's colorful though.
As a 9 and 10-year-old, he would have got jumped by me and my sister.
Damn. Motherfucker.
First story, he takes the first kid, and then fast forward some time, they introduce the next one, and then it kind of goes through the journey of the mom of that one.
We have a mom and a son that just had a tragedy, and they're going through that, and then Mr. Crocket starts haunting them. Man, talk about some pros and cons. You go first. What'd you think of the movie? What'd you like? What you didn't like? You know,
I thought it was good. Like, I feel like I would have to watch it again to really like look at any cons. I thought it was pretty entertaining. Mm-hmm. It was silly in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Though, like, production wise, of course it was good. It was acting wise, it was good too. I didn't think like the script or anything like that was bad. Then at the same time, my bar is super low because I watch Tubi movies all the time, so anything is better than that. It went through the story pretty good. Like, it went through why he does what he does, why he chooses the kids that he does choose. He's already weird for trying to take kids. But I thought he was that type of weirdo.
Which was good to find out that he wasn't.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's that type of weirdo. He's just weird because he had his own background as a child, and so he's one of those people who unalive people with a righteous
his anger and fury.
Right? Yeah, the reason why they do it is altruistic, if you will. I would rate it 8.5.
Okay, so it looks like Nova would recommend
I liked it. I
probably watch more horror than you do,
yeah,
right? So what did I like? I like the practical effects, right? So a lot of the creatures that you see, you could tell they were like puppets or people in like costumes, things of that nature. I always enjoy practical effects over like CGI. Mr. Crocket, even though he wasn't scary, but he was creepy.
He was definitely not somebody I would ever want to be alone with. Even though he's smiling, I'm like, no.
So I enjoyed that. It definitely had me locked in because I wanted to see there was an explanation as to what he was doing, where they were at. All those questions kind of got answered and stuff. Even like the nature of his abilities also was answer to,
Yes.
which I wasn't expecting. This happened to him, and now he's haunting everybody type stuff. Some of the kills were pretty gory too, which I enjoy. Cons though, the child acting was atrocious in my opinion. Everybody's lips was chapped. That was kind of weird. We were just laughing a lot. We were making fun of it too. The ending was kind of predictable. Like I knew that was gonna end up happening. It did entertain me. And I'll give it like a 6.5 because, like I said, I watch a lot of horror movies, and I wouldn't tell people not to watch it, but it's entertaining. It was fun to see them take a Mr. Roger-esque character and then like make him like evil and mix him with like a little bit of Candyman. So that was an interesting premise. So I'm not mad at what they tried to do. So I give them an A for effort. You know what? I'll give it a 7 just because of that.
When it comes to things that are targeted towards children, it's always like very wholesome. And there's this facade. You know what happens sometimes, right? More often than we like to think. There's like this dark past, or somebody on there is like some weirdo, or kids are getting abused. You know what I mean? When you have movies like this or depictions of what usually is presented as very wholesome, even regardless of what's actually going on. Like when they turn that into horror, like it's sort of like that show where they show the black family moving into Oakland.
You talking about them?
And although like it was historically accurate, right, and these are like actual things that happen to families, it was presented in a way that's like horror or suspense or whatever, right? And I like when that happens because there's a potential reality but wrapped up with the horror. I would suggest to go watch it and leave a comment below. Like after you hear this review, go watch it and leave a comment below and let us know if you agree with us, because I like that aspect of it.
I agree with everything you said there. Yeah, it was cool that they took that type of thing and like a children's Saturday morning TV show and just worked it into some horror movie.
How many times you see a guy like that, right? Or a person like that? I know it's happened to me, but I see like a guy like that, a person like that, and I'm like, what's wrong with them? Granted, some people are naturally nurturing and stuff like that, but we also know that there's a lot of times where it's a whole other, intention.
If you're like a horror buff, you'll probably be a lot more harsh to it. But I would say give it a watch. It was good for what it was. Better than anything Tyler Perry has ever put out. So if you enjoyed our little review of this, hit that like button and leave a comment.
Leave a comment. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below. Let us know if you liked the movie. If you didn't.
See you next time, boys and girls.